Welcome to La Fusion, American Life Latin Style. I'm Nikki.
And I'm Kathleen. From unique whips to busted hoopties, cars for most of us are simply a way to get to and from work.
But the passion behind a custom or a classic is enough to drive others into a life dedicated to shiny red paint and curvy steel.
Drew Alcazar is one of those guys. The car culture courses through him like a speeding Ferrari, and we managed to catch up to him. Talk to any car guy, and most will tell you a lustful tale about love at first sight.
I was riding in the back of a friend of mine's station wagon. This is back in the old days when the station wagon's in the back, you face backwards. And he pointed it out to me. He goes, there's one. And I'll be darned if it wasn't a Shelby sitting out behind this guy's shed. And at that moment, I knew that was, that passion gripped me.
One glimpse of that thunderous Shelby Cobra, and a young Drew Alcazar was snake bit. A young gearhead was born.
My first car was a Mach 1, but I was a terrorist with it for 6 months when I was 15 and a half. My folks took it away from me, and they said, here's the keys to great-grandpa's 1963 Ford Galaxy. It was a four-door Galaxy. And I'm thinking at this time, this is like being cast into purgatory after having my Mach 1. But I discovered in very short order that it had a wonderfully huge back seat for all of my friends.
That gift of seeing the beauty in all cars, even a lumbering old sedan, shifted his passion into a top gear business. Alcazar opened a restoration shop in LA before moving to Phoenix in the late 90s.
I ended up getting lucky. I turned my hobby into my job, and it's become a hobby once again.
10 years ago, the guy who just can't get enough grease and gears started the Russo and Steele auto auction with his wife Josephine. The origin of the auction's name is as unique as some of the cars it features.
We ended up coming up with Russo, which actually is derived from the European sports cars that we do, from the vintage color red on old Ferraris. And we started thinking about, steel and iron and Detroit iron, and so we did steel.
The Alcazar collection reflects the concept of his auction. Part European passion, part American muscle, and part posh and upscale.
So it's sort of a more close-knit, very intimate atmosphere for those enthusiasts that are there to be buying and selling of their cars. So we've tried to be exclusive, but not exclusionary.
About 600 of the sweetest rides on the planet cruise across the block at each Russo and Steele auction. Over the years, a few of the real cherry ones took a detour to the boss's personal collection. But with so many horses in the stable, is there a favorite?
My favorite car in my collection is the one that I can get in and it starts and runs. You know, the joys of old cars.
But anytime a car is displayed in your living room, it must hold a special place in your heart.
All of the cars in our, what we call our permanent collection, are very close personal connections. They all have names. We just have them and enjoy them.
Drew has about 25 cars in his permanent collection, including a 1963 Galaxy, which is identical to the one his great-grandpa used to drive. It's proof that the value of a car isn't simply in the price.